So I just played the demo of Monster Hunter for the PS4. They released the demo, short release, right? I just played that, and I experienced Deja Vu playing the game. And that was so fascinating to me. Now normally, I go through this with maybe TV shows that I've seen before, or maybe, you know, some other experience, just like playing a YouTube video that I think I might have seen before, or a conversation that I've had with my mom or something. And then I experience Deja Vu, right? And that's different because sometimes you talk about similar subjects, sometimes you watch similar videos, you know, sometimes you're watching a TV show and it's a episode that kind of reoccurs all the time, like an episode about finding your true love, or an episode about in action animes when people fight their evil counterparts or their evil clone, things like that. And so it makes sense to me why those things are similar, because there's clones of them that exist all over the world, right? It just was so interesting to me that I experienced Deja Vu while doing something completely new that has never existed. And I know I've played other Monster Hunter games before, so on and so forth, but to experience it in that way, I just felt was very different, because obviously I've never played that game before. So that just tripped me out a little bit. So this is a video about what is Deja Vu. So this is from a YouTube channel called It's Okay to Be Smart. And there's another one, I think by Vsauce, that we might check out. And I'm just interested to see about it. So you guys let me know. Obviously you're interested because you're here. So let's get into it, man. Oh, PBS. Dude, I used to love PBS when I was younger.
Psychologist Endel Tulving said, remembering is mental time travel.
Soy latte for Joe?
Thanks. Remembering is one of the greatest powers that we possess. The ability to learn from our past, to return to where we've been, so we can decide where we're going.
So for me, what I feel like they're doing here is they're setting up a bunch of little situations that they're going to repeat later on in the video. But doing things like that weird me out. Like I played a video game, like a horror video game with Skidden, which I can't remember off the top of my head. But in that game, they did shit like that, where they entered a scene and they had a sequence of things happen. He gives them the latte, she sneezes, he spills the water, right? They had that type of scenario in the video game. And then they put you in the same room. So you walk through a door and you ended up in the same room. And they slightly changed little things about the room. And that freaks me the fuck out, because you know, they did things like just moving a blanket from one side of the room to the other, but everything else was exactly the same. I hate stuff like that.
Oh, man.
But can we return to where we've never been?
Soy latte for Joe?
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
Could have sworn I just...
Yeah.
Is it me or does this seem familiar?
It reduces my anxiety a ton.
I've seen this before.
If I say it before it happens, then I feel great about it.
Or as the French would say, déjà vu.
Hell yeah.
As many as 90% of us will experience déjà vu during
Only
our lives.
90%? I thought that's a thing everybody experienced. So you mean somebody out there hasn't experienced déjà vu? If you have not, tell me now. And well, I mean, I was going to say then tell me about it, but you can't because you've never done it. How have you never experienced this? Just wait. That's what I say. Just wait, bruh. You'll get there.
Our teens and 20s, and almost never before age 8 or 9. Deja vu isn't a physical phenomenon we can pinpoint in a brain scan.
Really?
It's a feeling, and not one that we totally understand. But we've got a few theories. Our memories aren't exact copies that we just write once and then store like files on a computer or pictures in a box under our bed. Remembering is really more like reliving. Our brains are constantly scanning our senses to determine if what we're experiencing is familiar. And once we label a stimulus as familiar,
I feel like I was right on about
brain
Déjà Vu.
region called the hippocampus recalls the memory associated with it,
Right.
refiring the neural circuits that hold that piece of our past, and we live the experience again in our minds. If these steps get out of sync, if something is deemed familiar but we fail to recall the context, that could be déjà vu. But that doesn't explain why we feel déjà vu for experiences that are truly unfamiliar,
Right.
or why we don't experience it for every familiar thing.
Exactly, because I just told you, I just downloaded the game and experienced déjà vu during the game, of the demo, of the game that hasn't released yet. How is this possible? Help me.
Latte for Joe?
Yep. We don't realize how hard our brains work behind the scenes, filtering our environment, gesundheit, unconsciously determining if what we experience is new, until it doesn't work.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. That's true.
Our various sensory inputs, smells, sounds, sights, are normally processed and mixed together as one event. Another deja vu theory says if one of those stimuli is recorded out of sync, the late arriving information could be flagged as a different event, which makes it feel as if it's happened before. Or it could be a malfunction in how memories are made in the first place. Normally, new experiences stop off in our short-term memory before being written into long-term storage. Skip the first.
Oh, if it just went right into your long-term memory.
Old ones. Or perhaps when we focus on one part of our environment, the rest of our world drifts to the unconscious. And when we snap back to reality, it feels like we've been there before.
Yeah.
Because we have. Just now. These feelings of misplaced familiarity are familiar to us, but the what, the where, and the why of deja vu remain unknown.
That's so fucking trippy.
All in all, there's dozens of plausible explanations for it, and maybe more than one is right. Bless you. There's no neat answer, but no mind or memory is perfect. The only way we'll get to the bottom of deja vu is to experience it all over again. Yeah, I could've. Stay curious.
So
We'd like to
it's so interesting now that pulls up a completely different, brings up a different view on this, that it might actually be an error in how your brain stores memories. So in this video game situation, maybe it's just something as simple as the music that they use or the visuals that they used are very similar to the game I've played in the past. Or maybe I remember the voice actor and didn't even realize it. You know what I mean? Maybe the voice actor had a similar line in another game or something like that, and that could trigger that kind of deja vu. So let's try this one. This is back from 2008. Monty Python, Deja Vu. Oh, this is a comedy thing. All right.
Good evening. Tonight on It's the Mind, we examine the phenomenon of deja vu. That strange feeling we sometimes get that we've lived through something before. That what is happening now has already happened tonight. On It's the Mind, we examine the phenomenon of deja vu. That strange feeling we sometimes get that we live... Anyway, tonight on It's the Mind, we examine the phenomenon of deja vu. That strange...
It's the mind. Yeah. He put an egg on top of his head. This nigga's losing it.
Good evening. Tonight on It's the Mind, we examine the phenomenon of deja vu. That strange feeling we sometimes...
He's definitely realizes it now. Now, wait a minute.
...get. That we've lived through something. Good evening. Tonight on It's the Mind, we
He's slowly losing it.
Deja vu. That extraordinary feeling. That extraordinary. No, fine, thanks, fine. Oh. That strange feeling we sometimes get that we've lived through something before. And no, fine, thank you, fine. Thank you.
I like how there's nothing in the cup. It's actually empty.
Strange feeling. No, fine, thank you, fine. Thank you. Look, something's happening to me. I think I better go and see someone. Good night.
To have homie leave the studio, Jesus Christ. This is so old.
Oi, ain't I seen you somewhere before?
No, Doctor, no. Something very funny is happening to me.
It's the mind. It's at a point now though where like the joke, you get it, it's transparent, you know, and it's like not switching up at all.
Something very funny is happening to me.
And so like comedy wise, it doesn't have that.
So swollen.
Come in now. What seems to be the matter?
I have this terrible feeling of déjà vu.
Literally reliving his life forever. Does he die at the end of it?
Come in now. What seems to be the matter?
I have this terrible feeling of déjà vu.
They just run the credits. And that's what I mean by dry. It's very dry ending. But, I don't know, I enjoy stuff like that because, I don't know, it allows you time to think through, you know, like while you're watching it.
Come in now. What
It's not very gimmicky, and I don't like stuff that's really gimmicky. But it's not, I don't really watch it that often. But I do appreciate it, I think is the way to put it. I appreciate it. I don't know, I might not leave it be so dry in the video. I might cut through some parts of it because it's pretty obvious like where it's coming from. And with Monty Python skits, for me, it's very hit or miss. And I don't know if that's just me or not. But I think that's a good place to leave it for Deja Vu. Little comedy skit at the end. It's not really what I expected. Do I want to watch that other skit or no? You know what? I'll save it for another day. Now I'm a little bit worried about if it's an error in how I remember things for Deja Vu. It's kind of like my ending comments on it. It's if I don't know now if there's something wrong with me that I remember things that way, or that Deja Vu happens, I guess, fairly often. And then it's concerning that some people never experience Deja Vu, and I wonder if the way that you remember things or remember experiences then determine your likelihood for experiencing Deja Vu or feeling like something is familiar. And then I wonder how that affects the emotions associated with it, so on and so forth. Because sometimes when I remember, to me, was a positive experience with other people, we clash. And they have a very different experience when I feel like in the memory, it's a very pleasant memory. When they feel like the experience was pleasant, but the memory is not necessarily as pleasant. Maybe even dull, mundane for them, where me it was new and exciting, even though I know I've done it before. If that makes sense?
Crocs,
so yeah,
Crocs,
very interesting, dude. I'll see you guys in the next one.
Crocs,
Peace.
Crocs, 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 Crocs. I'm rocking Crocs. I'm rocking Crocs. I'm rocking Crocs. Wearing Crocs, boy. I'm rocking Crocs. I'm rocking Crocs. I'm rocking Crocs. Wearing Crocs, boy. My Crocs are gold. My pops is old. My Crocs got soul. My Crocs are bold. I go to church wearing Crocs. I'm always turned wearing Crocs. My Crocs are great. Your Crocs are lame. With my Crocs, I can cross a lake. Crocs, 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 Crocs.